Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, pending your watching of the video. Welcome back to Module 1, Lesson 4, Transatlantic Encounter Part 1. So we're going to see this fellow for the first time that we referenced earlier after the invention of the printing press, a guy by the name of Christopher Columbus. He's going to be inspired by a book written by Marco Polo, who visited China back in 1290s, 1280s. And he, being Christopher Columbus, thinks that he can sail west and get to Asia. So what Christopher Columbus does is that he goes to country after country after country after country. Every country says no. Then finally, these two people on the far right are going to say, hey, you know what, Chris, I think we're going to give you a shot. So Christopher Columbus's trip gets sponsored by Spain, and in 1492, he is going to sail west, which no European had done successfully before. Now, what the king and the queen of Spain do is they provide Christopher Columbus with three ships. You've seen these ships before. They're the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. One thing that you probably didn't know is that those three ships were some of the worst ships that the queen and the king of Spain owned, because they weren't really sure if Christopher Columbus's trip was going to be successful. So rather than give him the best, they gave him some of their worst. So if it failed, it wasn't a big loss for the Spanish. And the sailors that were put on those ships ended up being the crooks that were in the prisons, because the prisons were starting to overflow. So they said, okay, here's what we're going to do is we're going to give you some sailors and good luck. And if you succeed, great. If you don't, prisons are clear. And okay, we lost three of our bad ships. So across the ocean, Columbus goes. He goes across the Atlantic Ocean. And about halfway through, the men on the ship start to think, well, maybe this guy doesn't really know what he's doing. And because all they've seen now for days is ocean on ocean. So those sailors, are going to start to think about mutiny, trying to think of maybe we should kill this guy and let the wind drift us back to Spain. Well, Columbus convinces them not to kill him, not to mutiny. And what ends up occurring is that Columbus ends up bumping into or landing on the island of Hispaniola, and he bumps into a group of people that were already there that they refer to themselves as Teanos, which means in their language was noble ones. But Christopher Columbus lands on this island, and he calls it San Salvador, because San Salvador means Holy Savior, which a couple of weeks or days prior, Columbus was going to get killed because they were kind of floating in the ocean, not knowing where to go. And so when he gets on that land, he finds it and says, Holy Savior, Holy Savior, Holy Savior, which becomes known as San Salvador. Now, when Columbus gets to San Salvador, now known as San Salvador, he is extremely surprised by the generosity of the people that he encounters. Just amazed at how willing these people are to provide and to give Columbus and his sailors stuff. Now, these sailors, former crooks, so all of a sudden they're starting to get things given to them, and they're saying, this is a great, great, great place. So Columbus says, okay, I think I'm going to like this. So when Columbus gets there, the first thing he does is he's looking for gold. He's looking for wealth. He's looking to obviously get rich. Then the next thing he's doing is he's laying a flag on each island that he visits, and he puts up the flag for the Spanish, saying this is now for the King and Queen of Spain. And next to that flag, he is putting up a cross, specifically the Christian cross, the cross that the guy with the nails in the hand and nail in the foot and the sword in the side. He said this is now for Christianity, because this is also the same time when the Christian world was in competition with the Muslims for land in Europe. And so the Christian world, led by the Pope, and these Christian countries are saying, hey, this is good for our religion because there's no more people that we can maybe convert. Now, Columbus gets to this island known as Hispaniola today, San Salvador then, and he calls these people he meets Indians, because he thinks that he's in India, because when he gets there, he read the book of Marco Polo, and Marco Polo talks about the sun coming up over one shoulder and setting over the other one. And so he's sitting at the island and he sees the sun coming out of the water and setting into the land. And so he just assumes that he must be in China, must be in India. So these people that he meets, which they refer to themselves as Tejanos, he calls them Indians. And that kind of, unfortunately, sticks with the people of the North and South America. Now, this island of Hispaniola today is split between two countries, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Now, one thing you need to know is that Christopher Columbus never once, ever once touched foot on North America. Never once put a toe in any land that is a state of the United States. Okay, so when Columbus is identified as being the guy that founded America, yeah, he found North and South, or the islands of the Caribbean, but he never once actually touched foot in North America.